Alright, what's good everyone? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the OnePlus Open and some frustrations that I've had while using it. Firstly, the OnePlus Open is a really good phone, a really good foldable phone, and I think a lot of people will enjoy it if they get it, and I think a lot of people who do have it actually enjoy it. But for a long time, since the OnePlus Open came out or was announced, a lot of people have been making direct comparisons to the Z Fold 5, which makes sense. But the narrative has been that the OnePlus Open is the better foldable phone, and it just came and solved a lot of problems and stuff like that. Realistically, the OnePlus Open only solved like two things, and those things are very circumstantial. The first thing that the OnePlus Open kind of solved was the camera. I feel like the OnePlus Open has the best camera system on a foldable phone in North America. The Fold 5 and the Pixel Fold cameras are not bad at all, but I think the OnePlus Open is slightly better. But even in solving that issue with foldable phones not having good cameras, it has a really huge camera bump. So, there's trade-offs. And then the second thing is that it has a more normal phone screen on the outside. The reason why I'm saying it solved these problems or kind of solved these problems is because a lot of people saw the OnePlus Open and were like, yeah, this is the best foldable phone because it has a wide outside screen and because it has really good cameras. In reality, it all comes down to preference. A person can see the Pixel Fold take photos and the OnePlus Open take photos and prefer the Pixel Fold's photos, even though technically speaking, the OnePlus Open has a better camera system. And then the other thing is that a lot of people don't want to admit this, but yes, a lot of people are saying they want big outside screens for foldable phones, but there are a lot of people as well who enjoy the slim aspect ratio of the Z Fold series so far. So it really comes down to preference, and the OnePlus Open, it came and people said it solved all the problems and it's the best foldable phone, but the story doesn't end on the outside and what it offers in terms of hardware. For me, software is the most important thing when it comes to any phone or any device that I use. I feel like the OnePlus Open has really good software and there's a lot of features and capabilities, but it lacks in a lot of different ways that I don't think people will talk about enough. Last year I made a video basically saying that people should calm down or slow down before crowning the OnePlus Open and saying it's the best foldable phone. And now many months later, I think it is more apparent that the OnePlus Open isn't the best foldable phone, in my opinion, and also I think objectively. Now, before you get super mad and go to your keyboard to type up a really long message about why I'm saying something stupid, let me just talk about my personal experience with the OnePlus Open and the frustrations I actually had. So the first and biggest issue I think with the OnePlus Open that I've had so far is the notifications. No matter what settings I change, no matter what I search on Google, no matter where I look, the notifications just don't show up on the lock screen after you see them for the first time. For me, this is very annoying and very inconvenient because when I get notifications, I don't always want to dismiss them right away, and sometimes I like having them on my lock screen so I can just tap my phone to see the notification again to remind myself of what was being said or what I need to address later on or soon, and then that's it. I leave it there until I'm actually able to use my phone and address that notification. On the OnePlus Open, you'll see the notifications show up on your lock screen for the first time, and then after you view it once, you lock the phone, the notification is gone, the lock screen is completely clean, even though it shows the notification icon on the always on display. So what this means is that in order to actually see my notifications without dismissing them multiple times, I have to consistently unlock my phone, which I don't like to do. It's very annoying to have to keep on unlocking my device just to see notifications, and I literally got to swipe down to see them. On other phones, notifications on the lock screen, that's it. It's just on the lock screen. I can tap my phone quickly to see the notification, and then my phone turns off its screen again. Very easy, very smooth. Another annoying issue that really cheeses me is the settings app always resetting. So basically you can open the settings app and start doing something like, let's say I'm looking at phone specs or I'm looking at the storage of the phone. I'm trying to change some settings of the home screen, different things like that. If you leave the settings app and then go back into it, it's going to reset back to the first page, which is the Wi-Fi page. I don't know about you guys, but for me, especially with foldable phones and phones that are highly customizable, I'm always in the settings app doing different things, tweaking things, trying different things out, especially as a phone reviewer too. I'm constantly using the settings app. And there's been countless times on the OnePlus Open where I'm doing stuff in the settings app. I leave it to go check something real quick. I come back to it. The settings app resets all the way back to the top of the settings menu. And this is super annoying if you're like, let's say you're adjusting the Oppo Pen settings, or you're looking at like more advanced features. You're deep in the settings app, multiple pages in. You leave the app, you come back to it, it resets. Very, 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 very frustrating to experience, especially with the phone that has like 16 gigs of RAM plus like another 8 gigs of RAM in virtual memory or whatever it is. To be resetting the settings app constantly whenever you leave it is just, it's crazy, bro. And then the other thing that really frustrates me, and this is again goes back to people saying that this is the best foldable phone, the best multitasking and all this stuff. If you really use the other foldable phones and, you know, experience One UI, the Z Fold series, then you would know that these statements are not necessarily true. Yes, the OnePlus Open has open canvas, which is cool. I wouldn't say it's necessarily better than how Samsung does, you know, triple split screen and all that stuff. But on top of that, on my Z Fold 5, I can do anything I want in terms of multitasking. I can open any app in floating windows, any app in triple split screen. I can manipulate the size of all the apps in split screen. I have no restrictions when it comes to, you know, the orientation of all my apps when I'm multitasking on the Z Fold 5 or One UI in general. With the OnePlus Open, there's a lot of restrictions. So many apps that I tried to open in floating windows, it says cannot be opened in floating windows. So many apps where I tried to, you know, do a triple split screen to how I want it, it says you cannot adjust the size of this app. So many apps are stuck to either the expanded view or the shrunken view. A lot of apps can't even like be split screen in horizontal orientation. Like if you have a top and bottom split on the OnePlus Open, a lot of times it forces certain apps to be expanded. There is no horizontal where both of them are on the screen at the same time. People might say, oh, you can pinch to zoom out and see all the apps. You can do that, but it's really small compared to, you know, what this big screen should be able to do. So yeah, open canvas is cool, like I said, but it cannot be the best multitasking system when there's so many restrictions, so many things that hinder you from doing whatever you want. In my opinion, in order to have the best multitasking on a foldable phone, there needs to be a lot of freedom in terms of manipulating the windows and the apps to fit how you want to use them on these big displays. What's the point of giving you a big screen when you can't fully use it how you want to? But yeah, moving on from that, another issue I have with OnePlus Open is there's no real pro video mode. Like the OnePlus Open has master mode. In this section of the video, I'm going to say master mode, but I actually mean movie mode. So when I say master, just substitute it with movie. My bad. Which allows you to, you know, adjust your shutter speed and ISO and light sensitivity and stuff like that. But you can't actually adjust the frame rate or the resolution of the videos coming out of master mode. Master mode only gives you this very thin movie-like aspect ratio. And I don't even know what resolution the videos come out in that mode because I honestly just didn't use it because of the restrictions. And another issue with master mode is that you can't even add it to the main camera modes. Like for example, on One UI, all the special camera modes, you can add them to your main camera mode. So when you open up the app, they're just there and you can quickly use them. You can adjust the layout and it works. On the OnePlus Open, master mode is not able to be added for some reason, but all the other modes work. So it's just strange choices and a lot of limitation for reasons that I don't understand. And then to go along with the camera app, you cannot double tap the power button to open up the camera app. I'm pretty sure when I first got the OnePlus Open last year, this was a feature, but for some reason I can't do it here and it's not present in settings at all. The only way to quickly open the camera app with buttons is to turn on the setting that allows you to use your volume buttons to open the camera app by double pressing them while the screen is off. This feature, it works, but sometimes it doesn't work. And then the big downside to it is that it only works while the screen is off. So it's kind of annoying. With any other phone, any other Android, you can double tap the power button and then the camera opens from anywhere on the phone. You know, let's say I'm in an app, I'm scrolling and I see something pop up in front of me in real life and I want to take a picture of it quickly. I can double tap the power button and then boom, I'm in the camera app. With the OnePlus Open, you cannot do that right now for some reason. But we need the double tap, bro. Like it's just a very basic feature that I use pretty much every day. Going back to split screen, there's another issue that really bothers me and it's the keyboard. For some reason, in certain circumstances where you have a split screen setup and certain apps, the keyboard won't function. It will pop up sometimes and then it will disappear. Or like you'll try to be doing something on another app and then it will pop up and it will get in your way. There's just a lot of glitching when it comes to that in certain layouts with certain apps. Another frustration that I have with the OnePlus Open is that display out is very bad on this phone. I'm not even talking about like a desktop mode or anything like that. Just being able to display out properly on an external monitor is very bad on the OnePlus Open compared to many other phones. With the Z Flip 5, for example, it does not have Samsung DeX, but it can display out in its normal screen aspect ratio, and then Samsung has a lot of features that allows you to manipulate or adjust settings of how the phone is displaying out to an external screen, and even how apps display on external screens. So you can get like a more natural experience, you can get a better experience when you're watching videos or, you know, just doing different things. You can adjust how it works on Samsung phones, even without using Samsung DeX. On the OnePlus Open, you plug it into an external monitor and it's literally just a square, or it'll be the outside screen resolution. This is like Apple levels of bad. The iPads before they got Stage Manager, which is a proper display out desktop type of experience, have only been able to mirror their home screens on an external monitor. At least with the iPads, they have bigger screens and an aspect ratio that is slightly more closer to a monitor. For a long time, they've only been able to mirror the screens, and it just has been a pretty bad experience compared to other devices, like for example, Samsung Galaxy devices. So yeah, if you're somebody who uses display out a lot for your phones, the OnePlus Open is not it. And it just does not work well with external monitors unless you force desktop mode. But even then, desktop mode is risky right now because it's not fully developed and it can destroy your home screen layout. So you don't really have much options when it comes to display out. Another issue I had with the OnePlus Open is external mic support. In the official camera app for the OnePlus Open, it does have external mic support, which is cool. But for some reason, the quality just sounds very terrible when I use the same mics that I use on my other phones on the OnePlus Open. Again, this is another thing that hinders me from using the OnePlus Open as my daily driver. It really does get in the way of my workflow. And then the last issue I have with the OnePlus Open is that flex mode is terrible on this phone. When this phone came out, people said, oh, best Hinge, all that stuff. But how can it have the best Hinge if it can barely even sit up in flex mode or, in the L shape? Yes, the screen aspect ratio allows for a slightly bigger experience when you're using flex mode, but it can only really sit in like a 90-degree angle. If you slightly tilt it, then the phone is going to like close itself or it's going to snap back. The OnePlus Open just naturally wants to be open. So flex mode is just not a good experience on it, to be honest. And you might be thinking like, who uses flex mode? But there are a couple of scenarios where I use flex mode a lot. Like for example, watching videos, sometimes I'll put my phone in flex mode so that I can, just prop it up and that I can see the video while still doing other things. And then another example is with the cameras. I'll use flex mode like with the built-in kickstand so that it can take pictures or videos from a distance. The OnePlus Open, it can only really go 90 degrees, and anything outside of 90 degrees, I kind of get scared that the phone's going to open and destroy the camera system, or it's just going to close and then I can't really take my picture or videos. And I've had like 3 of them and they've all had these floppy hinges that just want to stay open. Yeah, I don't know. People said it's the best hinge and all that stuff, but yeah, I just don't see it. The Pixel Fold and the Z Fold 5 have better hinges in my experience. Oh yeah, and no wireless charging. It does hit you after a while. Yeah, there's that too. But yeah, I've been talking a lot about my frustrations with the OnePlus Open and things that I don't like or just bad experiences. Really, all I'm saying is that this phone is a great phone, but it's not as polished as the Z Fold series. Samsung has been doing it for a longer time, so they've had more experience, more time to develop something good. And then One UI also just has been a more customizable and flexible software. Like on a software level, there's way more features on the Galaxy devices, but then even just like being polished, like I said, there's a lot less random issues. But yeah, stay tuned for another video where I talk about the good things I like about the OnePlus Open. Till then, we out. Peace.